Yo, it's your boy Nick, HOUTX Trader. If you want to see how we caught a winning NAS and US 30 trade today, please stay tuned and watch this video. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to break down the strategy. I'm going to break down how we found the entry, how we found the exit, and all that good stuff. All right. We also got ourselves in a gold trade, and we're still in an EJ trade from last week. This right here is only for training. It's not for financial advice. If you need financial advisor, please go get one. Let's check out this. Let's share the screen and we'll do the old NASDAQ. Okay, guys, here we go. Real quick, I'm going to break these down. If you want a more in-depth breakdown, then stay till the end of the video. I'm just going to cover these real fast for the people who want to get in and get out. Look, guys, top to bottom fib, bottom, top, we saw a retracement. We saw the 78,886 zone, which is our sell zone right in this area. It got wicked right there. Okay, guys. We also saw the RSI overbought. We saw this purple box down here. We can change that color real quick to green, make it liquidity. Look, guys, here it is. Liquidity got taken out. We got in our sell zone. We got overbought on the RSI. We took the trade right there. We took the trade. I say we always take TP1 at 23.6, which it literally hit perfectly. 23.6 TP1 was hit, and right there was a cool 160 pips. All right, guys, there it was. There's a trade for today. That's how we caught it. That's how we got out. I still am in a position. As a matter of fact, when I seen this wick up, hit the 88.6 and close below, I entered another position. So I'm still in two positions there. Let's look at dirtiest of 30. Okay, guys. So here we go. We were again, we had this zone right here, which is liquidity. All right. We saw that liquidity get taken out. Where is the money symbol? There it is. We have a Fibo from this swing here to the low. There it is. Guess what, guys? There's our sell zone. 78, 88.6. Wick below. Change that to make it look pretty. Sell zone. Okay, there it is. Fib, sell zone, wick up, close below, and gone again. TP1, 23.6. It hit, and we had 215 pips. Hey, call it a day. I actually did break even on this trade right in there. When this wick came up, it knocked me out of break even, so I'm out of that trade. I did not re-enter. I did see it, and I was like, oh, that looks juicy. But I said, you know what? We'll call it. On the Goldie. All right, guys, let's break this up to a little bit higher time frame, 4 hour. And same deal, guys. We see liquidity sitting right here. We had a fair value gap from the bottom of this candle to the top of this wick right here. Let me just draw. So we had a fair value gap from the bottom to the top of this wick. That's a gap right there. All right. There's no candles with that. This is the order block right here. So we have the fib from top to bottom. 78.6 is right there. Gold loves 78.6. It's also, if you'll see, 2050, which is a quarter point. So, hey, look, guys, we took that trade. We're still in that trade. It hasn't broke down, unfortunately. I was hoping it would sell off. If we go to a smaller time frame, though, we're basically in zero drawdown. We took that trade right in this area there, and it's just been melting ever since. I would like for this thing to melt off. So it's tomorrow's Friday. Let's see if we can get a sell. Well, let's look at the EJ trade that we took and look at it, and it's still melting. I really like the daily candle, though. Okay, so the new candle now, the bull candle now is today, which the market's only been open now for about 2 hours. But look at that sell candle right there. That's a beautiful engulfing sell candle. We're hoping this momentum is the one that takes us down here, right, for us to hit TP. Really, our TP is that red line, which is the full TP extension. So if this is the high, this low broke this. We had a retracement back to our sell zone here. There's liquidity right above it. We wanted to get taken out. There's our sell zone, 78.6. We also had the overbought on the RSI. Guess what, guys? Pull the trigger. Dunzo. All right. If for all you guys who want to cut out, that's the 3 trades we took real quick. If you want more in depth on the psychology and the full breakdown, let's do that right now. Back to NASDAQ, guys. Let's reset this. Daily chart, clearly bullish. I understand we want to be in a bull trade. We want to be buying, but sometimes you gotta look for some sells. And unfortunately, that's what we're. I don't say unfortunately. We took the trade. That's what we're doing today. But I want you to see that this top wick, how this right here broke below these wicks. Perhaps that is the liquidity that it needs to set an all-time high. It did set that all-time high right here, right? But as soon as it did, look what happened, guys. It closed right back in this zone. I don't want to say a zone, right above where these wicks are. So every time it peaks above, it keeps closing back below. Unfortunately for us today, it did not close below. It closed above and engulfed. So now that I look at this, I don't have much hope that this is going to sell off. But having said that, I'm still in a short. What are you going to do? Okay, and this is the reason why. We come to the 4 hour, right? Let me delete some of this stuff to make it a little prettier. All right. We come to the 4 hour. All right. We see that there's liquidity above, but we also see that this hasn't really hit TP, like it hasn't retraced far enough. Okay. So the area that I think it needs to retrace to is where this red line is. I went over that in more detail this morning on the live call. You can go back and watch that. Basically, if we fib that from bottom to top, it's right in the right next to 61.8. And then if we look at the line chart on the 4 hour chart, on the 4 hour time scale, excuse me, we have this bottom meet this top, meet this top. Like we have this area. Excuse me, this is the 8 hour. Let's look at it on the 4 hour. It's a little cleaner. There we go. So let's do this again. Okay, the bottom, meet this top, meet this top, come close, meet this top. Like this is the area where it wants to kind of come back and forth. And if we look at the daily on the same deal, you see the top and the top, top down here, bottom, bottom. So that's an area. It's not the cleanest area now that I look at it a little deeper, but that is the area. Actually, perhaps we could just dial this in just a bit. Like, actually, I like that a little bit better. Okay, guys, look here. Top, 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 almost hits this, does hit that bottom, hits that bottom, hits that top. So this is the area that I like right there. And it's still right between the 50 and the 618 as far as retracements are concerned. So we're going to make this a little bigger. That could be a good area for us. Let's go back to the candlesticks. Okay. What I also see here is this small consolidation zone, which you could say this is like a kiss a candle. There's going to be sellers sitting right there. That's why those candles look like that. A sideways candle. Really, I like for this to trace all the way down here to this where it broke out of this breaker block. I'd really love for it to come down and take up most of that candle, if not at least 50% of that candle. So if we come here and we do the gain fan, the 50% is right on our 78.6. Okay. I like that a lot. I think it needs to take up at least 50% of that. And then also, if you really think about it, the top of this candle to the bottom of the next sale candle, or you could do it here, but that's just basically a big fair value gap. So we could even say to the bottom of that candle where the next set of sellers are, that's fair value gap. So again, the 78.6 is our target. Even though we might see some sort of push off here at the 61.8, it is a very bullish market. Therefore, we might not get all the way down there. But I'm still thinking that this is the swing. We had a 1, we had a 2, we had a 3. And so we're having a push up to take out all this liquidity. But I'm hoping that it holds this as the swing marker. We start to find resistance. Perhaps we even get a double top, and then we sell back off to this area. So I'm in sales there. I'm in sales in this area, and I have my stop loss above. Again, to find that stop loss, I fibbed the entire move from there, and I did 10%. I always do 10%. So my entry is right about here. Now I understand that's a hell of a lot of pips. It's because we're on the 2 hour chart. But if you think about it, the TP is really down here. TP1 is really down there. So we caught this shorter move with a smaller fib, and we had a smaller TP, and we had a smaller stop loss, right? So we come back down to that first move in this morning, right? The same thing. We caught it, we protected, and we hit, and then we we got knocked out. Re-entered when I saw that. All right. So there's the trade. I'm still in there and knowing that it's might come up and have us in this drawdown, which is cool. I'm okay with that. Now let's look at the flip side of that. What did we not see? Well, we saw it damn good and well. I just didn't react off of it, and perhaps I needed to do that. We saw this gigantic engulfing move, right? And I was like, you know what? My strategy is my strategy. I see these being taken out. I see the fib zone, and I see the oversold, and then it tanked, and it came all the way down. When I saw that, I was like, okay. But realizing this engulfing move was so strong, I should have expected this to come back up and set a new high, right? I don't say new high, but it broke this little entry that we had, taking us out. And so with this much momentum, perhaps I should have been a bit more worrisome on taking the short, even though it did give us a good push down. So that's something that I'm going to log tonight, and I'm going to be cognizant of. Maybe when we have these gigantic moves with these strong bull candles and whatnot, or sell or bear candles, I need to be a little more careful. Maybe take a little bit earlier of a stop loss, leave more of a take more profit earlier, that sort of thing, knowing that it could turn around. But having said that, I went ahead and got back in the trade when I saw it reject this 88.6. So I'm in the trade now, and I'm basically at break even. All right, let's look at Goldie. So we need to be aware of the breaker block candle, which is right here, this breaker area, when we have such a strong momentum. So we need to target these areas for the buys on the flip side. So maybe that's something we can improve on. On US 30s of 30s, we're on the 1 hour time frame, basically played out just like NASDAQ with a strong bull, got into our wick zone, but look how low it closed below. So when it closed that much, it gave us that much of a wick down. I was more confident for this sell to keep going, and it actually did go lower and give us pretty much a double bottom. When I saw that candle close and come all the way down to the double bottom, it gives me more confidence this is going to keep on sinking. However, I did take a TP on this right here at the top of this candle, which is the very, very bottom of that bear move. I did take TP there. So actually my TP would have been at 190 pips. And then I left the runner. I was not expecting this wick, but this is what the market does. The market will screw you. And it did that. Came back up, got into our sell zone, and then immediately closed right below it. That's where the FOMO kicks in. That's where people get stuck, and not me, not today. I said, you know what? I already took my pips. I'm good. So what do we do from now, right? We need plan A. We need plan B. We need all that stuff. So let's delete this. We'll keep that trend line. We'll delete this. Let's come back out to the 4 hour. We'll actually need to go and do this back on NASDAQ again. So if we look at the bigger time frame, 1 pip touch, 2 pip, 2 touch, yeah, 3 touch on the trend line. This is maybe getting ready to break. Okay. However many touches it is, the 3, 4, 5, 6 touch of the trend line is no bueno. I still think it needs to come down. All right. And if we have this wick below right there, I still think it needs to come down to this area. So we have this liquidity sitting above with top of this candle and this candle here. So again, if we can delete this, we know where our buy area is. If we can get a fib from here to there, all right, we can get a breakup past this and get a candle up into this area, and it's also overbought on our RSI, and we can start to look to take trades. That's on the 4 hour. Let's come to the 1 hour. And right now we're in the middle of no man's land on the RSI. So plan A, plan B, right? Plan A, come up, look for sells. Plan B, the exact opposite. If it breaks here, takes out this liquidity, let's look for entries in this area or in this area. I will be willing to take an early entry if it doesn't get all the way to our zone, because we also see other things, right? We see this support and resistance sitting through here. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the 61.8, or this is the 61.8 area on the buy up. So if we get into this zone after it breaks liquidity and we have RSI, we have our confluences, then I'll be willing to take this from there. So plan B is somewhere down in here. buy up, take out liquidity. And at this point, if it does do that, this is probably going to set a new high. So our TP will be even higher. All right, that's A and B. Let's go back and do A and B real quick on NASDAQ. So we're already in the trade. So there is really only one plan, and the son of a bitch is pushing up as we speak. Our plan is this. Bink. That's the only thing we can let it do. For buys, I mean, it's kind of like it needs to take out this wick, but that's a liquidity grab. A, that's such strong momentum, and B, that's a manipulation liquidity grab to take it higher. We're probably going to lose this trade. So maybe what I should do then is stop being so hard-headed and start to deleverage out of this trade. Matter of fact, that's what I'm going to do now. I just closed one of my positions at a 0.5%, not even like a 0.25% loss. All right, we'll take that L. That's very small L. Again, sometimes the people who take the best losses are the ones who stay in the game the longest. So right now on the 1 hour, we're not overbought. On the 30, we're not overbought. We're getting not really into divergence. So we're just in the middle of Asian no man land. Let's just play it safe. I'm still in one position. And we're still in here, and our stop loss is still up there. And if it runs, cool, I'm still in profit. That little loss that I took will be quickly eaten up if we start getting down into here. It is what it is. So our only plan is that. Where are we at on buys, guys? It's so hard to say because I really want to buy down here. I really want to at least buy down in this area. So that just makes my sells even more. So it's going to do two things. Either it's going to sell off, in which we're good to go, or it's just going to pump from here, in which we're not in a trade because it's too late to buy. So we only have one plan. Okay. 30 at least is giving us two plans. 30 is at least has some structure to the left where NASDAQ does not, right? There's not much left of structure. That's all time high. So we can only play with off. What it gives us is this. I've been saying it, we really need to be in buys, and perhaps these trend line guys, we're in buys from there. But again, they're supposed to play if they know what they're doing, candle close. And this is exactly what happened. It broke, it retested the trend line, and then it shot off. So I don't know if they got in up here on candle close. I think most of them do play a 30-minute. I know a lot of trend line people, and they play the 30-minute, but the 30-minute didn't close the way up there. So I wouldn't think they'd be entering the trade way up there. Seems pretty ridiculous if you ask me. Let's go to Goldie. All right. And basically, we're already in a sell. So there is only one plan on Goldie. We're playing this Goldie on a higher time frame chart, which is where we need to be playing, right? We come down to the 1 hour and the smaller time frames to prime entries, but we do our markups on the higher time frame charts and we wait for the best entries. All right. And that is, for me, that's the entry for best entries. I do realize that right above here where this dotted line in is liquidity. I just don't know if it has enough power to get there now. I would like to see this come down and at least hit this buy zone one more time to clear out all of this liquidity before it pops up. And what I mean by liquidity, guys, is anytime you have a double bottom, like this is a bottom and this is a bottom and this is a bottom, there are orders sitting there. There are people in this area who are buying, and buying. So what does the market want to do? The market wants to come up to this other area where people are selling, 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 and they want to smash through that to make all these people be in loss, make them close their trades and losses, or make their orders trigger, or make their stop losses hit, whatever. There's liquidity, there's trade sitting here. So it's going to push up, trigger all that stuff, and then go in the opposite direction. So for all those people who are selling and have stop losses right above it, guess what? They just lost their trades. All those people who were in winning trades that had moved their trades to break even, guess what? Now they're out of those trades. So what we want to do is wait for that liquidity to be taken and then go in the opposite direction where the market wants to go. And that's a good example of what just happened. It pushed up and now it's selling off. Unfortunately, this momentum on the sell side is not that strong. So I'm not 100% confident that was the liquidity. We want to see something like this. We want to see a down and then a go. But if you see, let's come into a smaller time frame. This down and go was targeting this area in these doubles. It was targeting this little area right here with these two wicks, those wicks. and it come down and smashed through those wicks and went. Unfortunately, my strategy and the way I look at stuff doesn't really allow me to draw fibs in that area in that small of a time frame. And I want to see a 78. It didn't hit 78, and that's not really how I draw my fibs. I want to be in a higher time frame for higher probability trades, and there, so I missed that trade. So that's okay. Let's delete that. We don't need that in there anymore. This fair value gap is now gone. We can delete that. We're in our sell zone, which we just wicked. We closed below. When we wicked up, we closed below. I took the trade, and it was instant profit. So now we're holding this down. TP1 for me on this is going to be this bottom wick, but really I think it's gonna hit all these. So really, let's just call TP1 right here at 2024, which again is a quarter point. So I think we're safe to close down here, but really I think we're gonna go to 2020 before it turns around. But we'll see how it goes. All right. And we'll review the EJ real fast. EJ we took on a daily time frame. Okay. And I sound like the guy from South Park. Uh So if we look, right, we had the break of structure. We had the sell off. We had the purple box, which is the bottom of these wicks, which is structure. Got broken. It's retracing. Elliott waving up 1, 2, 3, 4 push on the way up. But guess what, guys? If it was really liquidity and it went straight up and it does this slow shit, that means it's not true liquidity. All right. So I think it's going to sell off. That's why we got into the trade, and we're trying to hold it all the way down to the bottom of this other area there. So that's it. All right, got NASDAQ. We are in sales. I need to get better at, I'm not going to lie, I need to get better at finding. So if I'm looking for sales, I need to get better at finding the buys. And perhaps that was today, especially when it broke trend. But I had my bias and I had my mindset, and maybe that's something I need to work on and put in my book, is just like looking at more than one possibility, which I do. I do plan A, plan B, but in the moment, perhaps I saw that bull candle and I was convinced by then, and I should have maybe flipped my perspective when I seen that. That's something I'm gonna write down today. Is after a strong move, let's just verbalize this. After a strong move, then we need to perhaps shift our perspective. After a strong move, reevaluate on the opposite side, or reevaluate with the move. That's what we're going to say. After a strong move, evaluate on the side of the move, which would probably have gotten us into this buy, but it did not set. So it's all good. Anyways, that's the video, guys. I hope you like it. Let me double check the comments after this. I'll reply to the comments or any YouTubes. I appreciate you guys stopping by. I appreciate you subscribing. That's going to help me build this channel. Please like, please subscribe. I don't charge signals. I don't have a Discord. It's paid. I do all this free. Hopefully you guys can take just one little bit of nugget information and helps you with your trading. Please help me grow this channel. This is for training, not for financial advice. So thank you guys. Have a good night. Please comment if you need anything else.